And we're live again. You guys do not know how much I've been rushing around, and I definitely did not want to do a second broadcast in one day, but then I kind of promised that I would. So here I am. Here I am for round two of the keto conversation. So I did a live broadcast at the store at TJ's because my friend was like, you should go live. And I was like, okay, well, you can see how it works. And so we did. I was going to walk around the store, but I was like, too much work. I was already explaining all these type of things to him about how he can improve his health. So, yes, I'm back, Yvonne. What's up, everyone? Isn't this like, hi, Sandra, and what is it? RTY Pep, Pepe? Pepe? No, Pep. What's up? So I decided to go and sort of talk about some keto food things, but as you guys are chiming in, I'm just saying hello to everyone. Double bonus, yes, Elizabeth. And it's quite interesting doing a two-in-one. What's up, Richard? The last time I did a live broadcast, and I don't know why people do this, so don't do this. It's like, oh, she actually starts talking 5 minutes into it, so she wrote like 5 minutes. Like, this is a live broadcast. You have to say hello to your homies because you guys are my homies. And then I start to see more and more of this similar people, which, it's a good moment. So I really appreciate it. So as you guys are chiming in, I'm going to start to discuss, and I'm going to time this because this is going to be like a 30-minute broadcast if I don't go into a stuff story at the end. So here we go. Countdown has begun. Because I kind of go long on the. All right, Brisbane. Where were you? I did a seminar in Brisbane. What's up, Elisa? She's like, hey, stuff in bold letters. Yes. Yes, New Zealand. I'm definitely coming to New Zealand your summer, our winter, fall. I will be there. Hello from where? Peter and Liz wants to know why cheese is a no. Peter, just analyze or Google casein and cheese. Casein is to make a little baby calf grow into a big 2,000-pound bull, which can break down the microvilli in your small intestine. Oh yeah, I've been wanting to come to Dubai as well. I've been trying to find people to put on an event there or go to an event, but that hasn't happened yet. Yes, Auntie, like up the stream, you guys. There's 51 people in the chat and only 28 likes. Let's see if we can get the like ratio up. But I realize people are still waiting for me to hit the science on this keto stuff. Yeah, so yes, Dubai, New Zealand, I will be there. And also Europe. Chicago in the house. What's up, Greg? And Shirley. Was it from Des Moines, Iowa? Thank you, Alan. Canberra. Brazil. I've been to Brazil a long time ago. Let's see here. Hi, Jeffrey. And was it Bouquet? Okay. Now, you guys, I'm going to go into, and hey, Rhonda, and anyone else that I missed. So don't forget to also hit the notification bell so when I go live, because people are like, I keep missing you when you go live. I'm like, you have to subscribe and you have to push the notification bell so you guys know when I'm about to go live. Now, let's hit the keto science. Now, we're going to talk about the keto flu, we're going to talk about thyroid, and we're going to talk about adrenal insufficiencies, but I'm going to hit this real fast. That's why I put on the timer. All right, we got another one from Australia, another Aussie. So you guys know last year I went and did a 3-city tour in Australia doing a keto tour. Random thought, I'm also on Facebook group, but I go, oh, but Betsy. Okay, cool. What's up? Okay. So, Betsy. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it. Okay, let's dig into this old keto flu business and illness and thyroid and all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, just reiterate the hi from New Zealand. Um, just reiterate the subject of heartburn, and I will easily cover that. But right now, let's go into. I'm just chiming in. What's up, Pamela? Okay, so I'm going to hit the keto flu symptoms and what they are because some of them are a little bit more concerning and some of them are just normal and you guys may not know what they are. What's up, Wendy? So, keto flu symptoms. Let's go through them. All right. Weird ones. Dry eyes, right? That's because of a mucin deficiency. I don't know why people develop it. I don't think there is any information on why some people's mucin deficiency or mucin secretion dries up or becomes less. I have no idea why, but that's one. All right, number two, people can't sleep. And the reason why people cannot sleep when this is a keto flu symptom is because you're normally used to eating carbohydrates. A lot of people are eating their carbohydrates a little bit later, and the blood sugar goes from high to low, and then that puts people to sleep. And when they don't have carbohydrates to put their blood sugar from high to low, they tend to be awake because there's nothing dropping their blood sugar down. Okay, so nauseous. So Wendy says she's nauseous all the time now. That's a more concerning keto flu symptoms because nausea can be two things, people. Number one, it can be your gallbladder being either infected or sludgy or have stones, and that will create the nausea. Another nauseous response to keto can be hypoglycemia. And another one can be your adrenals cranking out too much adrenaline, which can also create nausea. So that's more concerning, and I want to go more into that very, very soon. Let's see here. All right, so leg cramps is another one that people develop on keto. Now, people have leg cramps anyway. Let's keep it real. So our soils are devoid of a lot of minerals, and so one of the major ones is magnesium. So people don't take any type of magnesium exogenous supplementation, either transdermal or lingual, to get some of that electrolyte back in the body or mineral. And you have to do, and the thing is, you have to do water, sodium, magnesium, potassium to find that electrolyte balance. A lot of you guys will notice really bad muscle cramps, not only because you drop a lot of water when you first do the ketogenic diet, because I've explained this so many times, so I don't want to sound like a broken record, but as you know, your body holds on to water when you eat carbohydrates. So the cells hold on to water and the kidneys dump them when you are not eating carbohydrates. So the cells no longer hold to water and you dump the water very quickly. And your electrolytes drop as well, which is the sodium, potassium, and your water levels drop. And then you start to have benign heart palpitation symptoms, racing heart, muscle cramps, a lot of weirdness, dehydration. That's the more concerning one. A lot of you guys who are not replenishing or hydrating yourself enough can become dangerously dehydrated doing keto, which a lot of people don't talk about. Talk about products and keto, MCT, and brain fuel and all this garbage, and they don't talk about the serious things that can happen to people when they do this without enough information. For example, when I talk, I'm expelling water. So I need to drink as I'm talking. And what you guys need to do on keto is you need to drink water throughout the day. A lot of people drink a gallon of water, but they'll drink a big chunk of it, in their workout or post-workout or during the workout. And then they will go hours without hydrating. You have to keep drinking at least 8 ounces every hour throughout the entire day. That's what you guys don't understand. And another thing that people don't understand when they go to the gym and they're feeling weak on keto, it's not only because their glycogen storages are depleted, it's because they are not hydrated. So it takes just an hour for your body to become hydrated again. People are like running out the door, not hydrating themselves. They feel weak at the gym, and that's one thing you guys are not considering. So there's no timeline on people that, I said 3-month chunks, and yes, you can wait for that book seriously because, of course, I'm covering all these subjects. So right now I'm not talking about how much MCT oil you put in your tea because I'm talking about keto flu symptoms. I'm talking about thyroid, and I'm talking about adrenal because I don't know how many times I get those questions. So I'm trying to cover it lickety fast. Now, another one, as you know, is Candida die-off. That's a big one. I don't know how many times people are like, why am I itchy on keto? And like, why do I have this rash all over the place? People send me pictures on my DM, on Facebook, and all over the place with like rashy parts of their skin. And 9 times out of 10, if not every time, it is because of a fungal die off effect from the liver, guys. And so a lot of you guys are walking around with candida, which is fungal infection, or this Candida albicans overgrowth, and they're hard to kill. Once you have a systemic candida, it is hard to go away. So, of course, I mentioned the symptoms, which is white tongue, right? It's itchiness in the bum, and people have things like yeast infections or vaginosis and weird stuff going on there. People will have, rashes on the skin. They'll have loose stool. They'll be constipated. These are so for people who don't have these other symptoms of candida, they won't realize that the constipation or the loose stool will be a part of the candida overgrowth. So you might have nail fungus or toe fungus. Dandruff is another clear sign of a candida overgrowth, and all of us have it. And it'll give you brain fog symptoms as well as crave sugar, because that's how candida spores continue to grow, is by feeding on sugar. So what people don't understand is that tea bags, unfortunately, the tea in the bag, the mold grows on it. Cheese, so for any reason I'm saying like don't eat cheese, and I will go more into cheese because that's a part of the keto flu or like worrisome side of doing keto. Cheese is a mold, guys. So we pretty much all have systemic candida. Most of us do. And some type of fungal or parasite overgrowth or dysbiosis or intestinal overgrowth in the gut or imbalance. And so things like cheese just exacerbate the problem, make things worse. Especially with candida, it's a hot mess. And you can transfer that stuff to your partners back and forth. Mm-hmm. Gross, right? Also, what else? Let's see here. So we got the electrolytes, we got the dehydration, we got the candida die-off, the metallic smell in the breath, or fruity metallic is a lot of people like, how do I get rid of that? You can do coconut oil, and oregano oil pulling, which also whitens the teeth and kills bacteria in your mouth within 30 seconds. It's powerful antimicrobial. So that will help get rid of that smell. It goes away over time, so that's something you don't have to worry about. What else are some flu symptoms besides feeling really, really tired? Depression can be another one. People feel out of it. People might feel lactic acid buildup in the muscle when they're trying to work out. Heart palps is a really big one, which is the potassium deficiency. And these are like the things people don't really consider. People might feel bloated or nauseous. The nausea, again, is the gallbladder. Typically, people might start introducing meats that they have a difficulty digesting. They don't realize that they have low stomach acid. So heartburn is another symptom of the keto flu, which is the worrisome problem, which is a lot of people don't know that they have low HCl levels going on, or they might have their heartburn symptoms will come around if they eat a lot of carbohydrates, but if they don't, but then all of a sudden you're putting like fat and meat into a stomach that is low in properties and enzymes to an HCl to break it down, and so you start to notice this heartburn symptom going on. So all those, what? Okay, Richard, just be my little homie here. All right, okay. Boop. All right. So, what are other concerning keto flu symptoms? Depression is a big part of it. I think that's craving carbs, hypoglycemia. Duh. That's a big one. That's the worrisome one. So hypoglycemia, thyroid, adrenal. Those are all the worrisome things that you will notice while doing keto. Also, the floating stool, which is potentially leaky gut, or the that you're not seeing enough bile or HCl levels. So the where we're going to start with. Sure. Okay, hypoglycemia. With the hypoglycemia, people, you guys don't even know that you're hypoglycemic. Like, it's funny. Like, y'all are so used to feeling terrible that then when you do keto, you feel even more noticeably terrible. And that's when you're like, I'm concerned. But I try to explain to people that these things you had prior, if you had candida or leaky gut or histamine or well, histamine also is another issue because people start to eat mod foods on keto. So they might go online and they don't eat cheese or they don't eat a lot of eggs and all of a sudden start eating those foods because that's what they other people say you should eat to be ketotic. Um, I didn't go to KetoCon, so I don't have any thoughts on it. They invited me last year and I didn't go. And then so they didn't invite me this year because I didn't go to last year's. But I went to the Paleo FX. All right. So with that said, so I have no idea. It's in the same hall, so I already kind of know how the venue looks like because I was there last month and a half ago, month around. Um, okay, so I'm not taking any questions right now. I'm trying to hit the answers that people have been waiting for with the title, and then I'll take the questions, and then I'm gonna bounce like this. Okay. So I'm trying to think of, so hypoglycemia would be, again, the nausea. It would be shaky, jittery, hangry, angry, frustrated, irritated, short focus, brain fog, which is also another candida symptom, which is like super hardcore brain fog. Can't think when you got them candida spores like growing up in the brain, that fungus up here. Um, uh, so the problem with hypoglycemia is that you can have hypoglycemia, your blood sugar can drop so dramatically low that it is dangerous to the brain to go that low in blood sugar. So this whole synergistic, this relationship between glucagon and insulin isn't functioning properly, and glucagon's not able to get you back up to baseline. And so most likely you guys skipping meals and intermittent fasting, which is just anorexia, that's what I call it. Because before, when people dieted and didn't eat breakfast, it was just like, you should eat a hearty and healthy breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day, and it helps set your hypothalamus and pituitary response to the adrenals. And now people are like, oh my God, it's like kidney and liver clearance, which is like baloney. With that said, well, it's not baloney, but like it is baloney with people doing it because they're doing things the wrong way, but I digress. So coffee also is catering to a lot of your keto flu symptoms, and people are doing the bulletproof coffee and then they're intermittent fasting because they're waiting for the blood sugar to drop, which you might notice a blood sugar drop, and then people forget to check their ketones and their blood sugar throughout the day to see if they're in this ketotic range with feeling energized. And I think there's this whole kind of like complete unsureness, even by the experts, if what does it actually feel like to be in ketosis, because it being such a trend, it seems like people don't even talk about that anymore. It's just like weight loss or fasting. Or beta hydroxybutyrate salts, for example, which is super, super annoying. So the beta hydroxybutyrate salts, the BHB salts, they don't work. It's just a ketone in the blood. They're not used. No, they're not. That's why people start to say that it could be good for brain issues, because to adapt, you can't adapt on it because it's really about your body knowing how to convert these salts and create ketone bodies to get into the bloodstream to be used. And if your blood sugar is unstable, the body doesn't want to use ketones. It wants to use blood sugar because that's what it knows. So this hypoglycemia is something I'm really worried about with people doing keto, because they don't understand. So here you are, you've got like your low potassium, you are low potassium, low magnesium, low water, you're dehydrated, and you're having these horrible, very, very dangerous hypoglycemic symptoms of super low blood sugar. And then you're drinking a coffee to mask those symptoms. So that connects. And so there are solutions on how to deal with hypoglycemia on keto, but that goes to the thyroid. So a lot of you guys the adrenals and the thyroid. So those are two things that I noticed. So the worrisome symptoms that I know, besides the nausea from hypoglycemia, the shakiness, or the lethargy, or the confusion, brain fog, the dehydration, is the adrenal then response to start kicking out a lot of adrenaline, which raises your cortisol level, which people don't talk about. So, you guys just try to listen just for a minute. I see you guys going back and forth. But the information's really, really important because I don't think people speak about it enough. So people want to know if you can have, let's say, ketchup that has, 1 gram of carbohydrate in 1 tablespoon, and then they'll eat ketchup or they'll eat these things, and they don't realize that pure sugar still keeps the brain, it's going to be digested quickly and get into the bloodstream. And even though it's under the 20 carbs, it's still creating a reaction to what the brain is used to surviving on, which is glucose, which then the ketones become unviable. So if what's worrisome about doing keto for the long term is that you don't adapt. So if you don't adapt, you start having problems with a bunch of things. You can have problems with your LDL, small part of your LDLB. You can have problems with your blood sugar in terms of which is another problem, which is this sort of high blood sugar. So people have this sort of kind of quasi type 2 diabetic response to doing a ketogenic diet, which is why you guys shouldn't like friggin' fast, because first you see low blood sugar, which often is just hypoglycemia, and then you see this rebound of really high blood sugar. And that's why in these broadcasts people ask about the early morning dawns effect and how to lower blood sugar, and then they try fasting and they start binging, and then people start talking about cyclic ketosis. And the reason why people talk about cyclic ketosis is because they don't actually know what it is to adapt, because you can't adapt if you refeed back on carbs after 10 days. Then some people just eat the carbs because they feel so drained, and or they are literally craving carbohydrates and they binge, which to me would count. No, monk fruit is not okay. So Nerf, can you just listen for a little bit? Can you just listen? Just for a second. And I'll answer those questions about monk fruit, because that's just sugar. And that is not acceptable. The thyroid. Now, people who've got high thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, or low, that's worrisome. When you guys go to the doctor, a lot of you guys and a lot of women have issues with their thyroid. They don't know it because they've lived their whole life skipping meals and drinking coffee and not getting enough sleep. So they're having like this, they're having the three, right? They're having adrenal fatigue, hypoglycemia, and thyroid symptoms. And then sometimes they even have the fourth one, which is PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Men, what they notice is a change in their LDL patterns, or their CRP, so their C-reactive protein, their inflammatory markers, or they will notice things like depression, agitation. But the big one is your testosterone dropping low, very, very low. And a lot of men have a hard time sleeping doing the ketogenic protocol, which I would consider a keto flu. Now, more women have thyroid symptoms than men because women don't know how to chillax. But men have it as well. So, the big worrisome I noticed is people having their hair fall out, fasting and on keto. So the body, if you guys try to understand, and like up the stream, guys. We got 96 people in the chat and only 58 likes, and I am doing a lot of tap dancing trying to get all this information out. So if you guys don't mind liking up the stream, that lets me know that you want me to do more broadcasts, and it also gets me in a more visible position for people to find me to get out this free, gratis informationen. So, snälla, like up the stream, guys. Now, with that said, thank you. I see the numbers sort of going a little bit. There you go. Let's get these likes going. So the thyroid, that's a big one. A lot of you guys have an underlying thyroid disorder. Thank you, the P Project, for liking, and Don D. And so a lot of people have underlying thyroid. Now, men, you guys are having it too. And if you're having blood sugar dysregulations and you can't sleep, a lot of lethargy, super, super tired, somebody talked about doing a collab with the snake diet. That's not going to happen because I don't even follow what that diet is. I keep hearing about it, and I'm just in this keto zone right now that I'm writing this book, and I really, really need to understand these things that I'm talking about right now, which is thyroid disorder and understanding the problem with low T3. Now, the problem is that the T4 can make thyroid hormone, but it can't convert it into a usable hormone. So it's got to convert into T3, get into the bloodstream, travel through the bloodstream, and get into the cell. So with the thyroid's right here, guys. And what the thyroid does is it regulates activity in the body. So that's temperature, the mechanism that gives you energy, hair growth, peristalsis, anything where there's activity going on in the body, like all the worker bees doing stuff. And essentially what happens is a lot of you guys aren't sleeping well, so the body can't repair. If you're going and you're not eating, or your blood sugar is unstable because you didn't eat for hours and then you pound a bunch of foods that will spike up your blood sugar and then it slams really low, then the thyroid's like, please stop and rest. Because if we were outside, we'd do that. We would rest. But we don't rest. We're constantly stimulated. So the brain's like, okay, well, if you're not going to rest, I'm going to force you to rest. And I'm going to make you extremely tired. And then you're like, I'm so tired, so I'll just go and grab some coffee. Yeah. So then people go grab coffee, and then they start to notice that the coffee's not working. And then they can't get up in the morning. So then you drop your carbs, do keto. So not only are you experiencing thyroid hormone issues or thyroid stimulating hormone issues, now you guys are doing keto and you're just drinking coffee and you're doing the MCT oil in the coffee. And all of a sudden, your hair starts falling out. That's the worrisome camp of doing keto. The bad breath, that's over here. Who cares? This is worrisome. And you guys would be alarmed on how many people DM me and email me about the hair falling out. So the body's like, I need to conserve all energy because this person won't slow down. So we don't need hair. So let's dump it. We don't need to poop. So constipation is another keto symptom I forgot to mention. So people become constipated on keto often, and it's for a couple of reasons. Number one, they drop a lot of water. And number two, their thyroid symptoms flare up, and you didn't even know you had a thyroid problem. So now all of a sudden you can't poop because the body's like, well, we don't need to poop, and we don't need hair growth, and we don't need to get blood out to the extremities. So we're going to make you cold, and we're going to make you tired. So these things are the problem with people doing keto that have underlying issues and metabolic derangement or inflexibility before they even do keto. It's not the diet or lifestyle that created the issue, it's the wrong application of it. So often people will develop the keto flu symptoms because they're eating cheese or they're eating nuts, and they might have a sensitivity to the casein in the cheese and the phytic acid in the nuts or the mold on the nuts. Okay? So then their symptoms are exacerbated. And then all of a sudden their skin starts exploding because they're eating a ton of cheese or they're eating a ton of nuts. And then all of a sudden the candida just explodes. So, thyroid, if you know you've got Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism and you want to do keto, you can produce blood sugar for your red blood cells through gluconeogenesis. So that is not literally the problem. The problem is fasting, coffee. You're doing keto now. We're not doing carbs with thyroid problem. We're doing keto with thyroid problems. And you're not getting enough fat in. So you don't have enough substrate to even make the ketones. Or you're using MCT oil or coconut oil to try to adapt because you heard some experts say that. Yes, MCT oil in some people can produce ketones in the blood, but often they are unviable. So you must eat animal fat. It is what it is. And what you guys don't know is that animal fat is not just saturated fat. It's also mono, largely, and then poly. Thank you, Wendy. So I keep running into people who are just eating like lean meat or just a bunch of chicken on keto. And I'm like, okay, you guys, you're not making your keto symptoms go away doing that. Unless you have extreme histamine intolerance, you have to rotate your food. So a lot of people develop issues on keto, like histamine issues, inflammatory reactions, or allergy symptoms because they're not rotating. They're just eating mono food on keto, mono food. You're not adapting, which caters to the hypoglycemia, which then caters to the adrenal, which then caters to the thyroid symptoms of hair loss and constipation. Those are the big ones. So if you've got already a diagnosed thyroid symptoms, what do? Unfortunately, you're going to have to eat fat like you're eating carbohydrates in the beginning. Not all the time, because it is a burden. It is hard on the digestive tract to have to constantly break down LCTs, mixed with some MCTs. You get up, you eat breakfast. This totally goes against the whole intermittent fasting thing. But then the intermittent fasting thing, don't talk about people who've got hypothyroidism or hypoglycemia, which a lot of you guys have, or electrolyte issues. Yeah, you may have hypothyroidism or adrenal issues, insufficiency, but you're going to have electrolyte problems, and that can damage your body. No joke. So, you want to eat a breakfast, right? You can start with a small breakfast if you have a hard time digesting in the morning. You eat breakfast with the keto macros, with protein, fat, and you could do things that are high in potassium, which would be like spinach, or bone broth, or avocado, or even fermented pickle juice, which if you have a dysbiosis of the gut, that won't work. Okay? And if you got a glutamate problem, that won't work. So we've got to consider all of you guys' inflexibility and how to move around it, because I had someone email me the other day who's like, she was first inquiring about consultations, and then the next email was, never mind, I give up. I'm like, okay, in capital letters. I was like, all right, that's your issue. I'm here to teach you how to do this the right way. So with that said, you would eat, for thyroid people, you have to eat like literally 6 times a day, but it's a very small amount. So you have a small breakfast. So let's say you might start off 2 ounces of protein, right? 2 ounces of protein, and you want to get your fats high. So you want to have your fats between, let's say, 50 and 70 grams of fat, primarily coming from animal fat. Now you can involve like avocado oil and things of this nature, but the main fat must come from animal fat, and you just got to make sure that you don't have a histamine response to things like butter or ghee. With that said, because those are the primary ones that people use because they taste great. Now, with that said, you would have a mid-morning, you could do fatty tea, you could do avocado if you have a latex issue, and then you can do lunch within the circadian rhythm. That's another thing on keto that creates a keto flu, is not following your circadian rhythm, which is super important to adapt and to get that deep sleep. So not getting enough sleep, which goes back to the whole, people are using low blood sugar to sleep. Now your blood sugar's not low, it's rebounded and it's high, you're not sleeping. And so if your cortisol is high, you can adapt. Cortisol is going to break down amino acids and raise your blood sugar, and your brain's just going to stay addicted to blood sugar. Butter comes from cows, so yes, it's not a plant fat. So with that said, I'm just being silly. So with that said, silly things stop you from adapting, like diaphragmatic breathing. Like it's getting dark in here. Silly things like that prevent people from adapting, because doing keto, if you're not sleeping well and your macros are incorrect and you don't know how to stress manage, your cortisol crank up real high. Look, see, it's almost time for me to stop talking. So you would have like lunch with the right keto macros, and then you would have a mid-afternoon snack. Now that mid-afternoon snack for you thyroid people is beyond measure important. No vegetables, nope, and no pure proteins. No, we need fatty protein, very fatty, like ground pork belly is a good one. Sometimes when people have a hard time with HCl levels, I'm like, do a ground turkey thigh, like 3 tablespoons with fat, like add 3 tablespoons of fat. So you could add like a tablespoon of butter and 2 tablespoons of an MCT or coconut oil. in that mid-afternoon right before your blood sugar plummets. And then you have dinner, and then you might want to do a fatty tea like an hour before bed, and make sure that you guys get your magnesium every freaking day, because you guys keep forgetting to take it because you don't think it's that important. The potassium is really important as well, because that whole racing heart thing. But this is how you deal with thyroid, which is pretty much like kissing cousin to the adrenals. It's the same problem. So the adrenals are overreacting because your your glycogen is depleted. That's the energy in the gas tank. Once that's depleted, oh well, good morning, John. Once that's depleted, and you're not using ketones, and months pass, it can damage your metabolism, without a doubt. That's when you create thyroid. That's when men's testosterone, which I noticed really big drops in testosterone. Now people can also go into gluconeogenesis and feel like they're losing muscle because they're intermittent fasting. How many people do you know are gaining muscle intermittent fasting? I'm sorry, none. None. Duh. Oh, people are funny. How intermittent fasting helps balance your insulin. Well, so does keto, but you eating food. So isn't that more the logical one? All right, guys, we got 107 people in this broadcast and only 85 likes. Can we get up the likes? Because I'm about to answer your questions right now so I can get out of here. Boop. Here we go. Questions. I'm ready, you guys. What's up, Mark? Wendy's like, come on, you guys, like up the stream. He's like 110 people and 89 likes. There is a group of people who haven't liked the stream yet. Ezek, thank you. Breathing through nose, fix it. Do you have a deviated septum? I don't know about that one. What do I think about feminists? Well, nothing right now because I'm doing keto. Y'all, I'm an alien, okay? I am an alien. So we're talking about feminism. I mean, come on. I'm a strong female. I've got nothing to worry about. I'm good. Yeah, my whole point is to get people, was it Esther? Was it Esther? No. Somebody said, now I'm scared to try it. Shivani. Yeah, Shivani, that's why I'm here to educate you guys. Yeah, you should be concerned about trying keto. Yeah, but let me tell you guys right now, because I told you all this stuff to say this real quick. Okay? I am 50 years of age. Okay? I am 50 turning 51. This is me at this age. Okay? I will never go back. You guys saw my earlier broadcast with my friend Eric, and 31 years old. 31, I'm like 20 years older. And I'm like, I keep telling him, I'm like, Eric, your skin is getting jacked from all that food that I was like, leaky gut. He's got leaky gut. And it's like, he listens, but he doesn't do anything. He listens, but he doesn't do anything. So what I'm trying to say is, keto is the best thing that I ever did. I will never go back. My brain's sharp. My energy's on point. Skin, teeth, eyes, vision, right? Inflammation, my hormones. Why would I go back? So if you do it right and do the correct application, which is why I do these broadcasts, it'll be the best decision you have ever made. That's why you try it. Shivani. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Occasionally feed on keto. You could not, swollen feet could be from not enough potassium and your body's trying to hold on to sodium, which can make your feet swell or other parts of your body swell. I don't eat much non-grass-fed beef because it's just, those cows are sick. If I'm traveling and I can't get grass-fed beef, then I'm not going to worry about it here and there. Or I'm at a restaurant, I'm ordering a burger that I know is not grass-fed, but on the daily in my own home, no. Okay, so Beth says, so confused, I'm following you and I know I have adrenal problems. How do I figure out macros? Well, it's easy, Beth. I say all the time to get your fats over 200 grams of fat so your brain can start learning. And you got to get your stress down. So if your stress up, keep it up, you're going to have that gluconeogenic effect. or you're not gonna like this whole video is exactly what you're talking about. Get your macros correct in the sense of getting your fats really high and have your proteins low enough to where you can still build tissue on amino acids, but not too high to over as to overwork the body to digest protein or turn that protein into glucose. Okay, let me see here. What restaurants wait. What restaurants would you recommend? We're not in the same city, so I don't have restaurants to recommend. I don't think we're in the same city. Let me see how much protein. Yvonne, we're all different. So for women, I say between 45 and 55. If you're taller and more athletic, you're going to go up to 65. But in the 50s for women, generally speaking, fatty meats and healthy fatty meats. I'm just learning about keto. I have rheumatoid. Oh, it's great. Surely RA, I have worked with some RA people where they don't have attacks and their inflammation goes down. It is amazing what keto can do, which is why no one should be afraid of trying it. See, not be afraid to learn how to improve it. Methotrexate and what is it? Humira? Is that will keep me from getting into ketosis? Yeah, it'll make it difficult. It would make it so you got to make some decisions on your own. Yeah, but I've worked with RA people who have adapted successfully and had their not reverse, but to lessen the inflammation, the attacks. You're addicted to Wendy's salads. Things like, I don't know if Wendy's salads have carrots in them or the dressing. You can't use that. They put sugar in the dressing. Yes, magnesium, malate, or glycinate for anyone, not just thyroid people. Oh, you're in Ireland. Wait. No. Racist was saying good night to somebody in Ireland. Gotcha. Tiffany in Ireland. Spine, China study as research. No, China study, they did studies on rabbits, like enough said. Good night. Bye-bye. No, that's propaganda. China study is propaganda. Nope. Don't go by that study. It's literally embarrassing. No, and Richard's life is not equivalent to hunter-gatherer as far as the lifestyle goes, but in trying to create viable ketones, you have to use mimicry because nobody living in the modern time is like a hunter-gatherer. Like the sun's going down, so I use blue blockers, for example, to mimic, like not having my eyes being exposed to blue light. What's up, Larry? See, I'm very concerned, and I consistently feel symptoms, dizzy, tired. Oh, that's hypoglycemia. Your extra electrolytes are low, Pedro. I'm taking all your protocols. All right, okay, like if you have a headache, take a half a teaspoon of Himalayan salt or Celtic salt, put in an 8 to 10 ounce glass of water, and bam. And also find out if you are malabsorptive, because you could be absorptive trying to take electrolytes in and still have these hypoglycemic symptoms. And people always think that they're taking all my advice, but sometimes they don't really take all the advice. I'm so dehydrated. Okay. Surely there's no other books. There's just no other books. The only things that I really like are like Nora Gagaldis's Primal Body, Primal Mind, because it teaches you about how our bodies work, like supposed to be outside. And then also the art and science of low carb living with the Stephen and Volek, because they proved in the lab that ketones, your brain can run on ketones. But like then some of the other stuff that they say, or other books, like I'm even in Keto Clarity, which has some good nuggets, but there's no like one book that's just really, really short, except for the one I'm writing, because of working with so many people and coming to a lot of observational conclusions. Water. Everybody asks what I'm drinking. Is water, and the cup's almost empty. Fasted glucose 79, ketones 2.8, but I think my sleep could be better. And Kishel, we have to know how your energy, if it's stable all day long, because that's really important. But good that you hit those numbers. It's really, really cool. You have to be consistent with the numbers, and you have to check your glucose all day long. Yes. Let me see, I'm 41. I want to grow up and be like you now. Thank you. It's so weird. Did you guys see me in this other video? I did a broadcast like a couple of hours ago today, and I'm with my friend who's 31. And yeah, I don't even think I've grown up yet. I was talking to my friend yesterday who's 65, and he's got this kind of, because he's got this cigar voice. He's like, I like hanging out with young people because they keep me young. Is that the same for you? And I was like, no, I keep the young people young. That's what's up. Don't keep me young. Young people do not keep me young. No, no, they can't even keep up with me. Sure enough. Let's see. Tip like staff, thank you for doing these videos. Watch you every day so that I keep on the right track. You're so inspiring. Thank you, Tiffany. Ireland. No, today is just it literally. Well, people gotta understand. Everything that you put in your mouth is going to have a reaction or a bad reaction. So that has a rebound reaction of your blood sugar becoming incredibly unstable and becoming addicted. Explain the cause. I'm wondering if 10 years of keto staff has way more energy than 6 month keto staff. Yeah. Yo, I got energy for days. I got energy for days. And I can't do this broadcast late or else I won't sleep tonight because I'll be all cranked up. Let's see. You guys are talking to each other, so I'm just like, okay. Hi, Beth. Thank you. Richard, did you take? Richard did both. Pedro's asking, I can't afford the consultation, but should I do the course? The course is $15 a month, you guys. That's a fart in a bucket. That's like that's not a lot. You guys buy coffees and junk. So the course is really good. I didn't promote it before. I've had the course for like years. Sometimes I would just forget to promote it. I was like, maybe I should promote this course more. So it's $15 a month. You can do 1 month or 20,000 months. But Richard is on both. And you guys know Richard's been on my podcast. He was super skeptical of doing keto. He had an attitude in our consultation. And here he is now, like answering questions of everyone else. Love you, Richard. Okay, let's see here. And the advantages, discussions and disadvantages of, one day we should have a discussion on the disadvantages of smoking pee. Yeah, it depends on the context of it, right? See, never if I'm 14 months keto. When I'm sick, I still have energy. It's crazy. People can understand it until you feel it. There you go. Okay, it's past your good night, Irene. Good night. It's past not my bedtime, but my eating time. Yes, you can get rid of cellulite. That's a whole subject. My mom last night's like my mother, right? She's like in her 70s. She's like, I'll get rid of cellulite. My mom she's cracking me up. Woman survived the most deadly form of cancer. And she wants to lift her puppies, and she wants to get rid of her cellulite. And she wants a boyfriend. That's my mom. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. My mom looked my mom looks young. My mom looked young for a long time until she went through chemo, and that aged her in months. Months. That stuff. She had chemo and she had radiation. It was like watching somebody age like seconds. I'll show you my mom on my Instagram. Guys, go follow me on Stephanie Ketogenic. This is my Instagram. Don't forget to follow me there. Wait, can you see that? Wait. Where is it? Okay. Here I did a video, you guys, about making, what is it? It's the epic keto snacks. Those are good. My paprika macadamia nut. Okay, let's see. Or barbecue, I call it. Let's see. Where's my mother? Where is this crazy woman? Did you just do that? Yeah. I did do that. The camera hasn't lined up.
I do. Keep my mouth shut.
Is that funny, Mom?
Yes.
My mother cannot get these apps. She's like, what is going on? Right, Mom?
Yes.
Pretty cool, right?
Yes, it is.
Mom, what do you think about Democrats?
So that's my mom.
People used to tell me.
So when you guys are like, what does your mom look like? I just showed you. Did that help? You guys wanted to know what my mom looked like. Yeah. So, like, it aged her a lot, though. But my mom, she, like, really doesn't have that much gray hair. Her skin was amazing until she did that chemo. And then things just start sagging a little bit. Did you give away the measurements? On my keto course page. Oh, it's getting dark in here. It's time for me to get out. That made you feel warm inside. Thank you, Mark. Watch my mom is not conservative at all. She's like, she definitely I definitely take qualities after her in the sense of like she's very, very strong and like states her opinion. She is not a bad trust. But with that said, she is silly. She talks silly, and she swears, and you know, she does a little on the side. She a little crazy. Yes, you need 200 grams of fat. Can HCl supplements? No, there's betaine HCl helps promote digestion because you're just adding a little bit, adding more acid to the stomach to break down the fat. I mean, break down all the food, proteins, and all that kind of stuff, which is why we need HCl for the proteins, to break down proteins. Okay, it's getting dark in here, and I'm ready to go. You see blood sugar 87 and ketones 2.1, and that, right? That's not ketotic. That 87 is way too high. My fasted ketone readings are never in range. Why? Jeffrey, I don't know you. You know, you guys don't understand. There is no, my ketones are not in range. Why? They're like, you could be sleeping, not getting enough deep sleep and REM sleep, 2 hours of this, 2 hours of that. You may not be diaphragmatic breathing. Your fats might be too low. Your protein might be too high. You might be sitting in your car, like driving in traffic on the way home. Like you might be training too hard, not training at all, like poor quality food. You're not, I mean, it could be a million reasons. So I'd have to actually talk to you. I wish keto was that black and white, but it's not. Sorry that you were lied to on the internet with all of this poor food quality and I'm adapted. It's like, I'm adapted. Look how much weight I lost. Fabulous. And then 6 months later, where are these people? Does keto exacerbate acid reflux? It can to those who already have it, right? For people who already have low HCl levels. Yes, if they're having a hard time digesting certain foods. And that's not everyone. It's particular people. I do not surf. I skateboard. And so even though I grew up, I'm a Cali girl, born here. That's what's up. Born in California, but never became a surfer, wanted to. But this like Pacific Ocean is cold. So I was like, I've been on all these like really tropical trips and I'm like, I'm gonna surf. And then I don't surf, but I skateboard and I board. Apple cider vinegar, John, for those who don't have a histamine issue, yes, you can take apple cider vinegar prior to a meal, help encourage breakdown of food. Acceptable vegetables on keto are cruciferous vegetables or green beans or mushrooms if you don't have a candida overgrowth, banana spastic, huge one, systemic. Oh, that was born in Arkansas. I am a Cali girl. That's what's up. Born in LA. No, I will be a Cali girl until I die. Even though I lived in Europe forever, for 16 years, and jag kan prata lite svenska till någon som kommer från Scandinavian, but I am a Cali girl. That's what's up. I know I'm on late. I know. All right, guys, time for me to go. Yeah, coconut aminos, just be careful, you know, coconut aminos. Yeah, I think there's some carbohydrates up in there, but yeah, you can. Are you going to vote for Keller? Okay, I'm not talking about voting on this, like the whole feminism and voting, all that stuff. No, I'm all about healing the body and sharing stories. Good night. Good night, Wendy. You're here, Kelly, too. Cream of the crop. Awesome. And born here. No, I didn't see your message, this mind doctor. Sorry. There's a lot of messages popping on a cell phone. I lived in Europe because I was a pro skateboarder. I was doing skateboard tours. I was touring around skateboarding, like doing shows, competitions, all the time. I'd go like 1 day here, 3 days there, 2 weeks here, 1 day. I mean, I did that type of crazy traveling for 5 years. And then I ended up moving to Amsterdam and I lived there for about a year and started traveling again. And then I went to Denmark and I was trying to like live there, but I ended up in Sweden. And so that's how I got to Sweden. I was like in Germany too for a little bit. So, that I say like stupid German things like, and it's hard because I'll mix Swedish and German together. Like, das ist richtig and das ist verrückt. Das ist geil, ne? Like, I'll just know those things. But ultimately, when I start speaking and thinking of German, just Swedish comes to my brain. How do I find out about my course? Kevin, you just go to stephanieperson.com. You sign up there, and then I allow you on the private Facebook page. But it has to be from the, because people try to, like, get on the page and from Facebook, and I won't let you on until you sign up through the website, which is stephanieperson.com. Hiccups can also, after a meal, I'm not really sure, Dawn. I know burping can be from low stomach acid. 87 glucose is too high. Yep, that's right. You need to be between 69 and 80. Are you the same Steph who wrote that keto bestseller? No, I'm writing the bestsellers right now. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the broadcast. Stayed an hour more than I should have, or 30 minutes more than I should have. Thank you, Leo. Thank you. Good night, Richard. I will see you on the course page. And let me see here. Thank you, John. And the comments are coming in fast. Yes, I'm writing my book right now. I'm writing a book. You guys can go to my website. I still do consultations, stephanieperson.com. I also have a Facebook page that's free to the public, which is Stephanie the Business Person, and my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic, which I just showed you, and all that stuff. Catch me on the course, Pedro. Cool. Hey, Auntie Val, and thank you, Peter. Thank you, everyone, for joining the broadcast. And you will see me soon. You hear the crazy sirens here in LA. That's why I need a vacation very soon. And now the like ratio is higher than the amount of people in the broadcast. So thank you guys for liking the broadcast, and for those who watch the replay, if you want me to do more of these, like up the stream. Thank you very much. And today, see, I'm like a mood ring. Today I wasn't cranky, so I wasn't all sassy. I'm normally like, today I was not sassy. Today I was like, Woo! That's today. And have a great night, morning, wherever you are in the world. And it's getting dark and it doesn't look good. I look green. And I like looking green on camera. Good night, everyone. And I'm out. Peace. Thank you, Dennis. Or Denise. Dennis? Yeah. Thank you, Gracie. See you on the page, course page. A couple course page people here who started off on the live broadcast. Yeah, she says yes. Bye, guys. LA, that's what's up. And I'm out. Thank you, Eric.